What is up, people? I've been gone for a couple days. I've been at my beach house enjoying the weather, but today we got to talk about some stuff called the HPA, the Hearing Protection Act, and the way that Democrats are lying to try to block it being passed. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to be joined today by Flying Rich. And I'm joined by Flying Rich here. How you doing, Rich?
Good deal, Crumpy. How's it going on this Friday?
That's going pretty well.
Are you preparing for Flag Day, Trump's birthday, the 250th anniversary of the military, and No King's Day?
Yes. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not.
and my anniversary.
And your anniversary. Happy anniversary. All
Thank you,
right.
Crumpy.
So let's go ahead and jump into the HPA where we stand. Right now, it still looks good for the HPA, Section 2, and it also is looking better and better every day for Section 3. Section 2 would remove. What are you typing?
Sorry, new keyboard because I left my keyboard out in the rain.
Okay, Section 2 would remove the suppressors from the NFA. Section 3 would be state level protection. So, right now, that is still looking good. It is still looking good, even though Democrats are trying to stop it. And we're going to get into the short act in a second. But the way that the Democrats are trying to stop it, and this should give everyone hope because it shows that, for one, they don't really have a way to stop it, but they are trying to claim that it violates the bird rule. And the way that they're trying to claim that it violates the bird rule is because they are claiming that it would remove background checks from the purchase of suppressors. Now, that's not true because when you buy a suppressor, you go through a NICS background check. The NFA process, you go through a NICS check as well. So you're still going through NICS no matter what. It's just when you buy a suppressor, you're going through twice. It's like a redundant check. So by removing the first check, you really don't lose that background check. But the Democrats are claiming that that's what happens. So, and they're claiming that's what makes it violates the bird rule. And they're doing that to try to mislead people. What's up, Tundra Tactical out there? They're trying to mislead people because that's the only way that they can stop it is by if it changes policy instead of the tax component. Which, if it removed a background check, maybe you can argue that changed policy, but it doesn't actually remove that background check. But they are going to tie it to that, but it does not violate the bird rule. And I think that they're going to lose, but they are trying to lie to the American people. And I'm saying lie, I'm not saying, oh, maybe they just misunderstand, because I'm sure that they understand that it doesn't violate the bird rule if no background checks are removed. But they are going to try to claim that because they have no other choice. And yes, you're right. Birds cannot vote. And Fryer, I'm going to go pick up your guns when I'm back into town. Um, yeah, so that is definitely interesting, but it right now it looks like it's still a-okay. It's still a go for the HBA. Section 2 definitely, check Section 3 most likely, which is a good thing. Now, with that said, I want to ask Rich, why do you think Democrats are lying? Do you agree with me, or is there something else?
I you know it's amazing to me because when I think about, first off, Democrats lie because their mouths are moving. Um I don't understand why anyone has a horse in the race with suppressors because just like the Glock 7, It's a unicorn. It's mythological. There in Europe, you can get a suppressor the same way you get a firearm, and it's considered rude in Europe to hunt without a suppressor.
Now, in a lot of countries, there's actually it's a hell of a lot easier to get a firearm. I mean, get a suppressor than a firearm.
And and so I just think one there I think it's like any giving an inch to the gun community is the line of death. They will not cross that. They will not give an inch even on something as stupid as that. And I think any regulation on a suppressor is stupid. Other than any regulation barring my Second Amendment rights is stupid. But this is like stupid squared. It I think they don't understand what a suppressor is. I think they've watched too many movies, just like the Undetectable Firearms Act, as a result of the porcelain Glock 7 from Die Hard 2. I it's let them show me all the suppressor deaths that have occurred, and I only know one case.
No,
And
there's a few.
but again, there's probably just as many slingshot deaths as deaths related to suppressors.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have the Virginia Beach
Right.
and the assassination of the United Healthcare guy.
I can think of two, right off the bat. I don't know how many there are.
Yeah, yeah. So there's not that many. There was not that many. They tried to portray them as a tool of assassins, and they said it's a criminal tool and stuff like that, which is stupid. Suppressors do make pistols harder to conceal, but I think that there is a fundamental hatred for the Second Amendment. And I think it's not the people in Congress that hate the Second Amendment, it's the people that are cutting them checks that hate the Second Amendment,
Yeah,
like Bloomberg and all his crony
Brady,
organizations.
Giffords.
Yeah, Gabby Giffords, all those people, they really, really hate the Second Amendment, so they're not going to give up anything. As gun owners, they always tell us that we need to compromise, but they're not willing to give an inch. And that's not compromising, that is capitulating.
I 100% agree. It just and I live in the anti-Karen neighborhood. If I'm shooting, legit, this happened last week. My neighbor's like, "What are you shooting? You got to show that to me." My phone literally starts ringing, and it's anti-Karens. It's like, "You shooting anything cool? Can I come over? Were you going to be out for a while?" I'd almost rather my neighbors not hear me shooting, so I don't have to talk to them about it. Not that my neighbors aren't cool and I want to hang, but if I'm doing something, I'm shooting content, I don't want to be interrupted.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is 100% accurate. In fact, I am going to bring up a video here. Um, um, I'm gonna bring up a video here, but before I get into that, people want to know what's going on with the Short Act, and I do want to touch on the Short Act right now. The Short Act is still is still in a system of flux, right?
Hmm. So,
So
but before you go on to the Short Act, this is, and boy, I can only think of graphic ways of describing this. We have a 51% majority. We need zero Democrat cooperation to get the Hearing Protection Act through.
yeah, because they're doing it through reconciliation, which you don't need a supermajority,
So
and that is
cry,
thanks to the Democrats.
cry me an effing river. Cry me the I don't care. The amount of I don't care. It's as many as the stars in the sky or grains of sand on the beach. It
Yeah,
So, Chuck Schumer, I mean, and again, I do understand the Kabuki theater. Chuck Schumer and whoever got up there caterwauled about, criminals getting suppressors. I'm like, you, and Braden from Langley Outdoors, he had great commentary. If it's still going to have a 4473 to get a suppressor, which is the same way we get a gun, are you saying that the 4473 doesn't work?
The 4473 definitely doesn't work.
But
But
that's what they wanted. That was the solution.
yeah, I know. I know that, but it still doesn't work. So let's go ahead. I'm going to play the video. So let me go ahead. I will share this, and this is you'll see. This is um, that is Roger Marshall and Eric Pratt. Roger Marshall is a senator, and Eric Pratt is the senior vice president for Gun Owners of America. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say.
Hey, this is Eric Pratt with Gun Owners of America, and today we are talking about repealing the unconstitutional tax on short barrel firearms. And so I'm really pleased to be joined here by the author and chief sponsor of that legislation, Senator Roger Marshall. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day. As you know, the chief sponsor of the legislation, what do you think are our chances of getting your bill into the big, beautiful bill?
Well, Eric, it's hard to believe, but I think there's a better than average chance. I'm not going to overpromise, but this is why we need GOA with us, that we need you all to be out there writing, emailing your senators, your members of Congress, and say, please include this. And then just trying to explain why it's so important. That, to me, in my humble opinion, the short-barreled rifle shotgun is such a great defense weapon. It's easily controllable. It's not as loud. I think it's the weapon of choice for many, many, many women. So I think that would be the big advantage of getting it across the finish line. And I think we need to be able to talk about just what a hassle factor it is right now to get a short-barreled rifle. It's what, $200, I think, and typically it was taking 6 to 9 months to get the permit through the system if you could get it through.
Yeah. So you're encouraging people to make those calls. Just in your experience, how effective is that when the American people are engaged and they're contacting their senators?
Well, look, if one person calls, it probably doesn't matter much. But if there's hundreds of people filling my inbox with emails or calls, and I think both are pretty equally persuadable right now, especially at this particular moment. When here we are trying to say, is this going to stay in the bill? Is it not going to be in the bill? It's going to cost a little bit of money, to be honest. So we'll lose some of that revenue, and which I'm glad to do. So it's going to cost a little bit of money. It's going to cost the government a little bit of money. So I think any type of urging your own member of Congress and your 2 senators, if you're ever going to be active, this is the time to do it.
Yeah. If your senator gives you any flack about it costing money, just remind them that they've been unconstitutionally taxing a constitutional right for almost 100 years. So it's really time that we put a stop to that. Well, I want to thank you for that encouragement. Is there anything else that you want to say before I give out the number for people to be calling?
I think that this also helps us in the relationship to the pistol braces as well, as I understand
absolutely.
it. And I think, again, I think of handicapped people, especially liking that pistol brace. And the bottom line is, as you were kind of getting to this, is that we were guaranteed a right to bear arms, and it is being limited by the federal government. What I love about your organization, you're the flagship up here now. The other organization is has no voice now for whatever reason. So you all have the largest voice up here. You have the best reputation. So just shoot the facts at your senators and their staff members. Don't underestimate their staff members. If you can set up a phone call with the staff member to discuss this, I think it's a great idea.
Well, I really appreciate you bringing up the fact about the pistol braces, firearms, because Senator Marshall's Short Act will forever put an end to a future president doing to us what Joe Biden did, where he weaponized the NFA to ban up to 40 million firearms. So taking the tax out of this and defanging it this way is the way to go. So if you would, if you're hearing this, you've heard what the senator said. Phone calls are crucial, even emails, but phone calls, if you would, 202-224-3121. Please make that call. It's really important. Encourage your senators to support adding the SHORT Act to the big, beautiful bill. I want to thank you so much for watching, and thank you again, Senator.
Eric, what was that number? 202.
224-3121.
There we go. We got it. All right.
Make that call. Thank you.
All right, guys. So you heard it. The SHORT Act, we're close. We are very, very close to getting the SHORT Act included. We need that final push from every one of you guys. Every one of you. I'm pointing at you. You. We need the final push to get this included. We are on the precipice of having the biggest victory in two-way history inside Congress. And we're right there at the finish line. We just need to push it over the finish line. And we need every one of you guys to help out do that. And I'm sure you guys can.
So who should we be calling?
Your senators or congressmen, if they're Democrats like mine, you might want to call the finance CREPA and the other people in the finance committee and ask them to.
Okay, so now I know if I don't know anything but the zip code where I live and I don't know who my congressman or senator is, I can call this number, say, hi, I live in the zip code, connect me to my senior senator. You have a senior and a junior senator, and you can leave a message and be nice and polite about it. If they want to talk to, like, is there a majority leader, a whip?
Yeah, you can talk to the Senate Majority Leader or the whip. The whip is so you want to talk to like John Thune, who is the Senate Majority Leader, but I think he's pretty much on our side. But it never hurts.
Just having his back. It's like, hey, we got your back. And the key is, one, you're not going to talk to the senator. You're going to talk to a staff member. So be kind, polite, be brief about it, and just let them know, hey, we support the SHORT Act. We support the Hearing Protection Act. Please, include Section 2, Section 3 of the Hearing Protection Act. Please include the SHORT Act.
Yeah, you might want to also talk to Senator Barrasso, who is the Republican whip. A whip is basically like an assistant majority leader, but they call them whips. So you might want to do that.
So right now, would we be calling the House or just the Senate?
Just the Senate right now.
Just the Senate. And Johnny Three Bar does a super good job of getting all this information out. But yeah, right now it's the Senate. So thank you, Johnny, for always being, there with the links and information.
Yeah, the Senate's important right now.
So
they're going to lie, and we need to be on. We also need to be on the offensive when people say, "Oh, it's going to remove background checks," because that's what Elizabeth Warren said. You got to push back and go, well, she's lying. I mean, I wouldn't say she's incorrect. I would say she's lying because she is lying. She knows the truth.
She knows the truth.
Yeah.
So basically, there's going to be a 4473. There's no fingerprint photograph and detailed background check anymore. They're just a 4473 in the future. So background check, yes. In other words, the same background check you would buy the firearm that you would detach the can to.
Yeah, well, they do the same background check when you go through an NFA process. So it's really not removing the background check at all.
It's just the craziest thing to me, and I see why would anyone be against this?
I told you.
Just because the gun rights, the anti-gun right organizations are paying, and I guess it's like they give me money, I move my mouth, I know it's meaningless, but I got money from them.
It's a fundamental hatred for the Second Amendment. Okay, Brandon wants to know, he says, SBSs are banned here in Washington. Will that change if the Short Act passes? Unfortunately, no.
So, what about the 14th Amendment? Would that be a pathway in a long, drawn-out, arduous court case pathway for Washington to get SBRs, SBSs?
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be. The 17 states, they can fight. They can fight the suppressor thing, but they're going to lose. But yeah, there's a 1937 court ruling that said the NFA is a tax. A Supreme Court ruling. NFA is a tax.
So it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
Well, the Supreme Court is like the highest court in interpreting law. Congress passes them, the Supreme Court interprets them to see if
if the Supreme Court made that determination, then it is so, period.
Yeah, 1937, there was a case.
So is there any influence the Democrats could have on this?
Well, they can keep on lying.
But we don't need their votes.
Yeah.
And I guess the only possible, like, I'm just trying to think this way through now, like I'm trying to give the Democrats a way. But the only possible way I can think is they could say, well, in the future, when it comes to this, we won't listen to you. You know, when we're in power and there's some reconciliation thing, but they never do anyhow. It's not like it happened in the past.
Well, they're the ones who took away the veto of reconciliation bills. So you made your bed. Now you're going to have to lie in it.
So are you saying we're playing by the rules that they have established?
Correct.
So they made their bed and they don't want to sleep in it.
Correct.
So here's my only possible scenario that annoys the F out of me. Somebody memed it yesterday, I believe, is that the Republicans, so first 2 years of Donald Trump, they're like, oh, reelect us in the House and Senate, and then we'll do these things for you. And I was shouting, F you, do it now. Don't hold the carrot in front of me and say, oh, if you reelect me next time, I will gladly pay you on Tuesday for a hamburger today. It's like, no, F you. And Chris Bull said he just emailed his 2 senators. Good deal. So the thing that bothers me is what if Congress, the House and the Senate, do this, what can they offer us in the future? You know, concealed carry reciprocity, constitutional carry nationwide, what?
Yeah.
Because the concept is always that there's power in no. There's power in saying no, and here, do me a favor of some sort, and I will give you what you want.
Yeah. What we need to do is we always talk about Democrats trying to get off get Democrats getting off the Democratic plantation, but we need to get off the Republican plantation. And people like Brian Fitzpatrick need to go. John Cornyn, you need to go. David Kustoff, see ya. Anyone who votes against our rights needs to go. And that is, I mean, that's what we need to do. We need to remind them that they're not our leaders. They're our representatives. And I think that gets lost. People think of them as our leaders. They're not our leaders. Mm-hmm. We're their leaders. We tell them what to do. They represent our wants.
So I guess the words of encouragement are, whatever we have done by calling and calling and calling and telling them this is what we want have basically put their back to the wall that they have not gotten cold feet on it. We need to keep it up.
Keep the pressure up. You know, Eric Pratt always quotes H.L. Richardson. H.L. Richardson is the founder of Gun Owners of America and Gun Owners of California. His daughter is the sweetest person I've ever met in my life. And I know that they watch, her and Sam, her husband, they both watch the channel. So, yeah. But he used to say, and Eric Pratt always quotes him, when they feel the heat, they see the light.
Amen.
So let's keep that heat up and make them see the light. Let them know that we are not taking their BS anymore. They're going to do what's best for us.
And yeah, Mitch, keep calling, flood them with calls. Do not stop until it's passed. Now, the other thing that I saw, Braden, Langley Outdoors. I keep doing that. Braden said, maybe you have commie libtard senators. Go to X and pick 2-3 Republican senators and tell them you support these things, because they're not going to know whether you're a constituent or not.
Yeah, go to X. Go anywhere you can. Just go. Just hit them up on all social media platforms. Blow up their emails. Blow up their phones. Just pressure other people into calling. Have you called today? I have. Rich, have you called today?
Yes.
Do it every day. I call my senators who are liberal idiots, but I still call them anyway.
So phone calls, any kind of social media. X is a good one because it's easy to find your senators and Congress critters.
Hell,
blow them up.
I went to Blue Sky, even though my account keeps on getting banned every time they figure out who I am. I never really posted anything on Blue Sky. They just banned me. They just don't want me on there.
They must have, a list.
I'm pretty sure they do, because I got banned like boom, like that. Like I made an account and I was banned like 24 hours later without posting anything. So I'm pretty sure they do have some type of list. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it for today, guys. Keep it up. I will get a stalking charge. It might be worth it if we get suppressors, SBRs, and SBSs off that list. Can I talk about one other thing?
You can talk about whatever you want. It's your show.
True. There was a shooting on the Vegas Strip. I linked it to you. Rich got me banned from there. I linked it to you.
Zanti, you got to tell me what happened. I'm not banned from Armed Scholar. Maybe I am. I don't know.
Here it is. I'm going to do this because this is kind of crazy.
So this is like the Kings of Tupelo, Vegas style.
No, it's not quite. I got to play. No, but there's a shooting right on the Strip. The dude got whacked.
This is the two YouTubers, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. It started as a YouTube beef. So one of the guys, he was live streaming on the Vegas Strip. The other guy saw that he was live streaming on the Vegas Strip, and I'll play the video. Just give me 1 second here. I'll play the video. But but they were beefing, and one of them ended up killing.
Are you saying I got to watch out what I do on the internet?
He might have somebody named Anthony coming after you. No, but no. Look. Check this out. So, actually, I'm gonna mute it because there's copyrighted music. And watch. So this dude's live streaming, right? Bop, bop,
Oof.
bop. Pulled out a gun.
Now,
Dude.
is the girl in the foreground the guy's wife?
Yeah.
So here's one of the things that I'm kind of like. Both of these guys are married, right?
Yes. The dude took his wife with him. So yeah, he shot his wife too.
Usually people that are married are a little more stable.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is just YouTube, right? That I mean,
So
it's just people get too upset, and it's
can
not
you
worth
give the
it.
background? Because I don't think people know the background of the story
All
about
right.
who the two personalities are.
So the two personalities, one guy, they're both like live streamers, right? And one guy, his whole entire shtick is making fun of this other guy.
Now,
Yeah,
doesn't one guy have a lot of subs and the other guy has nearly no subs?
yeah, yeah. So he makes fun of
And he
the
would
other guy.
pay the other guy, the low sub guy, to do things.
Yeah, yeah, and make fun of him on his own channel. Well, that guy was apparently not mentally right, and saw that was happening and tracked him down to the Vegas Strip where the guy was lived at, and the guy was like, "Oh, I'm coming. You know, if you want to mess with me, I'm gonna be in Vegas. Blah blah blah, where you live at."
So the
And
other guy drove with his wife, the perp drove with his wife from California,
yeah,
which is like, depending on where you are, like a 4-hour drive to Vegas.
it was like a 3-hour drive, I think,
3-hour drive.
where he was. And then tracked him down by watching his live stream and shot him.
Oh, that is like, it's one thing to have YouTube beef with somebody or social media beef or beef in real life. It's like, just move on, man.
Yeah, it's not worth it. But
Now-
my whole entire thing is to say it's not worth it.
The guy, did they find the guy yet? Because last I knew, he was on the lam.
I think he's still on the lam.
Whoa.
But yeah, he destroyed his life for
And his wife's
revenge. For revenge.
And this is something, I miss Dan Bongino's show, because Dan Bongino would say the Democrats never do the "and then what." It's like, okay, you're so obsessed with rage.
Oh, he turned himself in.
He did turn himself in.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he turned himself in. I don't know. I've been kind of at my beach house, so
He's wow. I can't
that's
imagine
a new level of stream sniping. Yeah, he's claiming self-defense, but the dude obviously it wasn't self-defense.
Oh my, yeah, driving 3 hours from California, and apparently his wife, and whether this is true or not, I didn't know what was going on, which it appears that to be true.
Yeah, so.
Oh, Johnny 3-bar. Ouch.
But he
Ouch.
gained new subs.
Ooh. Ow. Ow, man. Yeah, that's it. It's very sad. It's very.
No, the dude, yeah, too many choices is right. The dude that shot him was from Vegas. The guy drove from California. Just want to correct that. Because he told the guy on stream, "I'm coming to Vegas. Ha ha, you're not going to do anything."
Oh, I had it backwards. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh, the Sentinel. Maybe not new subs, but plenty of pen pals. Ouch. Ouch. Speaking of pen pals in jail, any news on Matt Hoover?
Not that I know of.
Because for a while it seemed like we had a lot going on, and then it just kind of.
Yeah. I'll talk to you offline about it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a sad situation. You shared in our private chat a video of somebody going play by play on this. If you guys want to know more about what happened in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. Atovi did a play by play on it. There's ATOZY, pretty big YouTuber. He did a pretty good breakdown of it. But without that, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry I haven't been around lately. I've been doing other family stuff. My family does need prayers from all of you, so give us some prayers. That's all I'm going to say right now. All right, bye.